Oh no! Who saw that coming?
Hey, Bob, how are you today?
Jay, my brother, I'm doing fantastic. I'm so excited for this show.
I'm excited just because Tam came.
Hello.
World famous.
It's almost like we're legitimate now that we have our first guest ever.
Oh, yeah.
Mz Tam, thank you for joining us today. Special first show, special show, and we came up with a brilliant idea.
Cluster show.
What's that?
It's a cluster show.
Yeah, but we came up with the brilliant idea to have a guest host, right? Mz Tam, it will be hosting today's show, special edition. I don't even know that we came up with a title for it. Best of 2024.
It's the inaugural Level2Billiards Host Choice Awards.
Oh, show us the trophy, because we did special order a trophy.
I did put thoughts into it, and I made a couple runs, but I didn't like them. They weren't up to par.
Well, she's in high demand. It's understandable.
Yeah. She makes Gucci pool bags. So, I mean, our little trophy thing is bullshit.
The winners will be getting a certificate, so expect that in your DMs. It's the first year. It's inaugural. Maybe next year we'll have MTV award trophies. Who knows?
That'd be cool. Little astronaut guy. All right, let's get into it.
All right, let's start this bad boy off.
Before we start, the best of 2024, which is what we're doing here, best of 24. Before we start, I just want to say real quick, congratulations to Jason Shaw on his breaking of the record.
That's crazy.
Yesterday, crazy, and he's still going at it to I guess break the bigger record, right? But if you've ever watched a player at that level, which I know all three of us have, to do those runs, especially at Derby, that's a big thing. At Derby, they have a special table for that. It's grueling. It's special to see. So if you ever get an opportunity to see a top pro going after a high run, it's worth the watch. So a shout out to Jason Shaw for that, and nice going. Let's hope he breaks it. And if he doesn't break this time, he'll break it another time, right? I mean, he's
he's broken it the last 3 times now.
Yeah. So
after John Schmidt did it, right?
Do you think John Schmidt jumps back in ever again or no?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, who knows? He got that player model, and he was like, "I'm out of here."
It's grueling. So, all right, Mz Tam, you have the floor.
Take us away.
The first thing we're going to start off is the top youth. Who is your pick for 18 and under for 2024?
Rob, you go first.
You know, I think everybody wants to immediately shout out Savannah, but the youth player that I watch, who I think is doing it the right way and staying with youth stuff and just gradually going up and winning and getting the taste of everything. The kid that they call Jaws, D'Angelo Spain. I know there's a whole family and a whole squad of pool players, but Jaws is the one who I have for my top youth.
Adrian Asana is hands down the best player in the United States. I don't know anything about him. I've never spoken to him, so I don't know about his demeanor or anything like that. But from a quality player point of view, the kid is lights out. And there's a lot of good juniors. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Laszlo is good, and Landon is good. There's a lot of great juniors. That being said, what Savannah is doing from a junior's point of view is special. I think
it's like Savannah Nation over here. So
yeah, it's
Careful.
it's special what she's doing. I think Tam will probably remember this. It's similar. I actually think it's probably more than what April Larson did during her time as a junior, because she had the world, in her hands when she was a junior. I mean, she was invited everywhere. She was on every poster, and I think in a lot of ways Savannah is bigger than that. Now, it may be because the internet is the pool is more internet based now than it was back then.
You're building brands.
Yeah.
She has a great brand.
Right.
And put a
has
lot of time into it as well. Yeah,
big
she's progressed like
sponsors. Yeah.
100 Fargo points since she started. Like the progression is,
The other thing that I think is a big difference and I'm not knocking April, but April predominantly played junior events, where Savannah predominantly plays adult events.
All right. So that's
where are you, Mz Tam? Shout out where you are.
Yeah, I'm at the Las Vegas Q Club.
And where is that? Yeah,
That's
give us
in
a
Las
tour.
Vegas.
It's like Sahara and DI.
Sahara in Maryland.
Maryland Parkway, yeah.
About 4 minutes from Westgate. So if anybody's coming to nationals,
that's by the mall, right?
No, Westgate, where all the national APA nationals is.
The Boulevard Mall used to be down the street from there, about a mile or so.
Oh, it's not there anymore.
That's before my time.
Oh, how about that? I didn't even know it wasn't there anymore.
They probably blew it up in typical Vegas fashion.
What's funny is, for you guys at home, Tam lives in Vegas now, and Rob and I used to live in Vegas, so we got a whole Vegas connection.
I play out of the Q Club.
You play out of the Q Club, but
I play out of here. I work out of here, and then I run tournaments out of here.
All right, what is this pool room called?
Las Vegas Q Club. Everybody knows. It's been for 60 years.
60 years.
60 years.
So the tournaments that you asked me to promote are from this place?
Yes.
All right, cool. And I'm happy to promote. I'm also happy to, if they want to sponsor the show, whatever. Yes.
The official show of the Q Club.
Yeah. And here's how we want to get paid. Here's how we want to get paid. More, whatever they give you, we want them to give you more of whatever they give you. We're happy for you to take the money.
They treat me great here, so Katie awesome. And Adam, yeah.
Being a Vegas resident, do you play in other rooms? Or can I ever find you at Griff's? Or
my whole thing is to support everybody around, and that's how I get to network and have people come to my stuff. That's how I've always done. Support everybody, awesome. And hopefully they'll support you.
You have been a good ambassador.
Is Mickey still around? Mickey's Cues and Brews?
No.
I played in some great rooms, and they're just history right now.
All right, let's.
The next one. I'm going to do favorite social media, pro and non-pro.
Oh.
It's
pro
a double.
And non-pro.
So who's going to go first?
You go first. I know you went first. No. You go. You go first.
I just have a pro one. Okay. I really like how Alex Pagdalian's new social media team is running his stuff.
Yeah,
I agree.
Big shout out to him. I like the videos. I like his stories, the way it's put together, his products.
Showing off the products. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my pro pick.
That's a good pick. All right, go ahead, Rob.
My pro is Christina Tkach. It's like Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous when you look at her stuff.
All right, I'll give you that.
I'm
glad I don't know your picks ahead of time, because
it's fancy food, fancy trips, and she's always talking about teaching young kids, which as an aging pool player, that's something I'm into now, is showing people the correct path. So Christina, yeah, exactly. And then my non-pro is this jewel we have right here.
Who?
Who doesn't like Tam?
Oh,
who doesn't like to follow?
You picked Tam?
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That's very nice of you.
Yes, that's actually not my pick. Just to let you know. I'm gonna go a little bit differently. And get off of Instagram as far as platform. My favorite pick is Dunsky for non pro. Dominic Dunsky and his shenanigans on his page are so ridiculous. It's like must-see TV. If you don't, every day the guy has something going on Facebook. Every day he comes up with the most wildest things. He says the wildest things.
Calls people out for gambling.
Yeah, crazy. He's got a curse. He's a good guy. He's been on Level 2 Billiards one time before, I think.
We had a Super Billiards Expo video with him for
Yes,
3 seconds.
yeah. Just seems like a good guy, genuine guy. So that's my non-pro pick. My pro pick has a little bit of everything, a little bit of behind the scenes, like what you were saying with Christina, what happens away from the table, and has a variety of pool content, be it training or events or something like that. But by far and away, my favorite pro is not one person, but 3 people, and it's the Coe brothers. I think their social media is pretty darn spot on.
Solid picks,
they're doing skits, they're doing training, they're just and they're everywhere. So
Gorst is doing a good job, except for me, it doesn't feel genuine. It feels like it's a business.
It's high budget,
and I don't like that. I get it, I understand it. I'm not knocking him, just not for me. I'd rather it be more organic, and it appears to be scripted, and things like just not for me. All right, next category. We're rolling here.
Right. Favorite apparel for this year. I mean, last year, 2024.
Go ahead, Rob.
Well, I grab a Mosconi Cup jersey every year, so for me, it's on board. They're a European company, so the sizing's a little weird. You have to order up in sizing, but their stuff's so comfortable with the collars and the zips, and now they're putting underarm gussets in there. Yeah, so for me, it's on board.
Yeah, good company. We met that CEO at that event. Carrie. Yeah.
Good guy, yeah.
With the accent, super nice guy. Huge selection. So I'm going to pick somebody different, but I don't disagree with you. I have to pick our sponsor. I mean, it would be wrong for me not to pick our sponsor, right? We have one sponsor on purpose. I'm not going out looking for sponsors. Really, it's more because he's a good friend of mine. I want to support him. He wants to support me. And they have cool stuff like this or like this. Did I do it?
Ding, ding.
There's just some cool designs. I've shown you before on the show. The Oklahoma shirt from when I went to the Oklahoma event is my favorite shirt from them.
What's the company?
On the rail.
Off the rail.
Off the rail.
On the rail. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. OTR. Just good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not overly expensive. Cool designs, things like that.
Their
One
official
day we'll have
diamond apparel.
Right.
Yes.
Their official diamond apparel dealer.
Mm-hmm. Tam, if you remember, when at Mosconi when we were together and we did that show together, and I was wearing that Level 2 Billiards shirt.
You gave me that. You gave me that shirt to wear. Remember, I wore it as a dress.
Did I take it back from you?
Of course, you're gonna. That's weird. Are you selling my stuff? No, I still have it. Yeah, you gave me a dress. I mean, a shirt, and I wore it as a dress at Mosconi.
I remember.
Yeah. And ever since then, I've always walked by the booth. He sponsored my stuff. We've ever since I met him.
Good guy.
He always says hi to me. Jamie, yep, that whole team. Rhonda, Jamie.
Rhonda, no more.
Craig. Oh, sorry. Still, she was a big part of it. I appreciate it.
So it's off the rail apparel, offtherailapparel.com. Jamie is a sponsor, so I gotta that. All that being said, I want to point out M Theory. M Theory I don't think is anymore, but M Theory has some cool stuff. If you could track him down, I'm sure he still has inventory. I'm sure he does. I'm not sure that he does. But the other thing is, who else rocks M Theory? And I had to go deep for this hat. But Joe Rogan rocks M Theory.
Oh, yeah.
On the Joe Rogan show. Huh? So.
Yeah, they're from Texas.
I have M Theory. What were you going to say, Tam?
They're from Texas.
Yes, great guy. I met him in person at the Texas Open. You were there, actually, too, I remember. All right, what's the next category?
All right. How about pool halls that stand out in 24?
I'll go first because I feel like Rob has been dominating the conversation. I haven't really been to any pool halls other than that one in Philadelphia this year. I didn't travel this year. It was a cool pool hall I think it's called Boulevard Billiards or something like that. It was nice. But so I'm basing my opinion based on watching streams or watching events. And for me, it's been my pick in the past, and it's going to be my pick again. Actually, I don't think it's been my pick in the past, but Oscar's room in California, which is called
Hard Times.
Hard Times, yeah.
Hard Time Billiards in Sacramento, Sacramento or near Sacramento, I guess.
Yeah, Sacramento.
Yeah. The tables, the tables are spot on. The best mechanic in the world is there. It just seems like it's a cool room. They do cool events. I like the memorials that they do. I like what Oscar does. But that would be my pick.
He changed out all his Brunswicks into diamonds.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Over the year.
That's a big commitment. So that's my pick.
I don't go to pool halls anymore because I stopped having the urge of fighting people over wagering pool.
All right, go ahead. Who I'm sorry.
Look, my pool hall is someplace I haven't gone to, but from all the video and all the everybody's posts, that pool hall called the Rail Yards. I think it's in Indiana.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, okay, yeah.
Kentucky. Louisville,
You've been,
Kentucky.
Tam, right? You've been?
It looks amazing.
Yep, I've been there. And since I've been there, they've upgraded more. So
and
that's
when you were there,
Go
ahead. What were you gonna say?
Top 10 overall places I've been to.
Top 10.
Rail Yard.
So, are you going to tell us what is your favorite? How about this? I'm going to let you off the hook here. I want to let you off the hook. Not counting anything in Las Vegas. So you have to remove Las Vegas as an option. So outside of Vegas, what would be your top pick?
Top picks outside of Vegas in general from all the places I've been to. I like Rail Yard. I like Iron City Billiards in Birmingham, Alabama a lot. Amazing Billiards in Malden, Massachusetts. Snooker Billiards in Providence, Rhode Island.
Snooker, I love that spot.
Yeah.
Snookers, I love.
Yeah.
Any in Texas that you wanna? No. Okay.
What's the number at now, Tam?
Not top 10. I'm at believe 643.
Jeez.
So you've been to 643 places that have a pool table.
That's public.
So it could be a bar, right?
Yeah.
Right? So it could be a bar. It could be a pool room, but it's got to be open to the public.
Like hotel lobbies, because you could just walk in and play, or you want to stay at a place with a pool table, things like that. So any place with the.
What's the number that you get to and you're like, fuck, I did it.
I already feel that I did it. So, but I wanted every 600. I was somewhere. I was in Vietnam. Last year I was in Vietnam, and it was at a place called. Yes. B52. That's top 10 too. Whole army
you posted
thing.
About that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole army thing inside. There's 3 floors. Each floor has 9-foot tables and stuff like that. It's one of the newer places.
Did each floor feel like a different vibe?
A little. It's not completely the same. So it.
Yeah.
But the theme is all around. It's an army theme. But
I have a question for you, and I forgot it.
So that would probably be my pick for pool places that I've only been to new for 2024 would be B52.
How about this? Because let me ask you this question, because you've been to a lot of tournaments that are in rooms. So what would be your favorite pick? Not just because of the room, but because of the tournament within that room.
Oh, definitely the split bracket in Alabama. Have you seen the numbers last weekend they did? $558,000
Wow.
purse.
Shit.
Wow.
439 players. 189 in the high and the rest in the low. It's amazing. You can't beat their numbers.
What are they doing that's drawing all these players? Like that's
what they're doing.
That should be the recipe for everybody else.
No, they have a perfect storm of all the stake horses in the South in the same build. And that is their thing. They have a strong rapport with people that have money that love to play pool. And they all support him, and he plays good himself. So,
and I want to add also, because I've been there multiple times. I've been to Birmingham multiple times for the purpose of pool. And I think another part of the perfect storm is pool is huge in Texas. It's not that far away. Pool is big in Louisiana, not that far away. Pool is big in parts of Georgia and Florida, not that far away. And then you go to the north, as far as Kentucky and Tennessee, pool is big, not that far away. So I think that plays a part of it too, right?
And it's the part where it doesn't matter if it's far away. The people in the South and the Midwest, they all have heart. They all will drive there. People around, let's say, the West Coast, they'll be like, oh, it's too far. Can't do it. It's just, you know how much money is added in a lot of these things, and people don't show up in numbers. But in the South, they will drive no matter what. So that's part of it too.
It's a different breed of player, I think. And I've said this to you before, Tam. East Coast players versus when I came to visit you in Texas, it's two different things.
Yeah.
I think if a regular East Coast, I'm in the Northeast, a regular Northeast player saw what pool was like in Texas, their mind went, I know it. I've been all over. I've seen it. And it's a whole different level.
Each place has their own character and their own persona and mindset of and you can't run a successful pool big tournament in the summer in the East Coast, because that's their time off. That's when all the leagues die down. That's when nope, it's too nice. We're not playing pool.
We'll be outside.
Yeah. So,
right.
All right. Next product of the year.
Let me go first because I'm short-winded on this. I haven't bought any product, so it would be fair for me to say this is my opinion.
Do you even pay for things?
Yeah, I get paid to say things. How about that? Is that fair? But I'm gonna make a recommendation based on a conversation I had with somebody else, and that is Dell Sim. Full disclosure, I've never played the product, but Dell is, in my opinion, very on point with his opinions. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. If he says it, I believe it. And we had a long conversation when I saw him in Philadelphia. And so I'm picking, based on Dell's recommendation, the Tsunami shaft. I think it's called the Tsunami 2.0.
Killwood. Yeah, it's a Killwood.
Yeah, I don't know the owner. I mean, I know him in the sense that I see him on social media and he's promoting the stuff, but I have met him, but I don't have a relationship with him. So I'm not saying this because I'm on the tape. I don't have any relationship. The other product that I would say again, and I made a post about this a few months ago. Not that I post that often, but is that bag company Castillo
leather, custom leather goods.
That stuff is amazing. Again, know him, but don't have a relationship with him. And my recommendation is just purely based on seeing the product and saying this is good quality stuff. Go ahead.
I only shout out stuff on my stories and all that I use as a player. You know how much we love Roy from Magic Rack. That's probably my most used piece of pool gear, and it will be forever, is my Magic Racks. But this year, brand new product, Tam came out with a blue V10, and those of you who know V10, you know it came in that horrific green color. And if you play on tournament blue cloth, that horrific green spreads everywhere, and it looks horrendous. Now they have the tournament blue V10 for us tournament blue guys.
Everybody's raving about it. I never heard one person say anything negative about it. I read today that John Mora was just added to Tam as far as a sponsor player. So I agree with you. I've never played it, but I've never seen anybody say one bad word about it. But maybe just Chris Renfro. Maybe just him, but that doesn't. It's a good day. It's a funny one. All right, go ahead, Tim.
All right. How about Retailer of the Year?
Go ahead.
I know your pick. Oh, I know your pick. Where's your banner?
Yeah, right. Where's your banner?
Oh, I have it, but I haven't got a check lately, so it doesn't. So when the checks stop, it automatically fell down. Yeah. Well, go ahead with your silly pick.
My pick is a place I've been ever since I came into contact the first time with Jeanette Lee, and I won something, and I got a gift card for them. I've been a fan of Syberts for as long as I can remember. They get all my extra money, and they take care of me pretty well there. So Rick Matsky and the boys at Syberts, that's my pick.
All right, my pick. You already know, like Tam said, it's right here.
Ding.
Is Fort Worth Billiards. I've been there multiple times. I don't even live in Texas. I've been there multiple times. Great place. 200-foot wall. Maybe not 200 feet. Maybe 100 feet wall. Every pool cue that you could ever want to just take off. You don't have to ask anybody. Take the cue off the wall. Chalk it. Multiple different tables there for you to play. Different sets of balls for you to try it. For me, there's nothing like it. You wouldn't buy a car and not test drive it. If you're buying pool cues, if you bought a pool cue and you haven't test drove it, your local guy doesn't let you test drive it, don't buy it from him. Albert does that. Cool spot. Albert's a good guy. I've asked Albert for favors. This is the biggest thing. I don't think I've ever said this before. I've asked Albert for favors for charities that has nowhere near Texas. You know, somebody reached out to me, and you know anybody that can help us, blah, 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 blah. And I reach out to Albert, and he says, tell me where to send it. He doesn't even, nothing. Tell me where to send it. And I love that. Go ahead, Tim.
I have one. I'm going to interject my pick. Alpha of Billiard Products, Omega Billiards. That's my pick.
I love their booth at Super Billiards Expo.
Yeah.
I spend money there every year.
I have Omega. My case is Omega. Well, one of my cases is Omega. I love it. It's the backpack one. What's his name? He's a good guy, too. Mike, good guy. He's actually sent me to events before. His wife, Joanne, that runs this shop. The shop? Yeah, it's in an old bank or something.
No, they upgraded. They have a brand new facility now.
Oh, yeah, good for them. Good for them. But
they
it was in
put
a
all
bank
the tables
or
there.
Like that.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
All right, next one. This is Juicy. Disappointment of the year. Oh, you
want me to go first?
Yes, please.
My disappointment was the Reyes Cup. I just felt like they sugarcoated the crowds. The crowds looked non-existent. I know the tables were set up bad. It just seems like that whole week when they're at Hanoi this year, I felt like it took a dip from Hanoi into the Reyes Cup. It just felt like Vietnam and the Philippines, for their contributions to pool, they should have been given a lot more than what they got. That whole week, the Hanoi Open and the Reyes Cup this year, to me, it should have been on a more grander scale than it was. So that's my disappointment.
We've talked about this in a previous show. I've talked to a couple pros who were at those events. The heat was a big deal. I mean, you have professional pool players playing. Come on. If you can't play in a venue that has air conditioning, you shouldn't be in there. You know what I mean? I get it that you're trying to attract a crowd from a certain part of the world and all that stuff. But if you're going to tell us that you're the premier billiards company, act like the premier billiards company. Not my pick. My biggest disappointment of the year is the war between Matchroom and WPA. Not that they're at war. I understand it's business.
The public display of public. Their differences.
Yeah. Them fighting.
So tacky.
Social media. Yeah, it's horrible. We shouldn't see it. We shouldn't even know about it. Locally here, I'm fighting with somebody. I've been fighting with somebody for 4 weeks. Nobody knows about it because it's him and I fighting about it. Now I'll tell you, because you guys don't live local. Me and the mayor of my town have been at each other's necks for 4 weeks, but nobody publicly knows that, right? It shouldn't be in the public. It's horrible.
All right. Most charismatic. That's
most charismatic is my choice is Pia Filler. I think for her,
that's a good choice.
When she wins, she really wins. You see it, and when she loses, you really see it again too. And the relationship that she shows off with her and Josh, and their travels, and then pushing products. It just seems like she's such an individual that got figured it out, and she doesn't give a shit about what the outside thinks of them, and she's just moving forward.
That's a good answer. I agree. I don't just. It's not my pick, but I agree with you. Pia is on point. I remember the last tournament I saw her. She made time for me. She came over. She came to me, which I like that. Classy. My pick. I'm going to throw you a curveball here. Is Kelly Fisher. As nice as could be. When she's being interviewed, says the right things about her opponents, but in person, same way. I've hung out
very funny.
Yeah, funny. I've hung out with her away from pool events before. All pool crowd, but away from the tables and stuff, like in a bar/restaurant setting. Funny, personable, humble. She's just another player in the room. She's got huge accolades, huge accomplishments, and she's just another player in the room, and I love that about her. My pick.
Oh, right.
I like my pick.
Most inspirational.
No.
Most inspirational.
Yeah.
I'm going to go first. This was a hard one for me. I really struggled with this one because there's a few players that I could have easily went with. I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you a junior one, and I'm going to give you an adult pro. Hands down, Savannah, from a junior player's point of view. I think she's done amazing things at the junior level. We've already spoke about it. So Savannah, as far as a junior. On the pro side, I struggled between three players, and then I kind of threw one player out, and then I struggled between two players. But for me this year, Mickey Krause has to be my pick. I mean, shot out of the cannon, went from essentially kind of unknown. I mean, known but not crazy unknown, to world stage, to staying at the world stage. It wasn't a one-hit wonder. We know of players that have been one-hit wonders, and Mickey has stayed there. He handled himself well at Moscone Cup. Had that little controversy with him. I don't want to get into that, but I spoke to him about it, and I thought he handled himself well. I'm going to go with Mickey.
Mickey. My as much as I want to forever say the name Jeanette Lee, not only for what she's done for me personally, but what she has to battle through on a day-to-day basis with her sickness and her family. This year for me, Mika Immonen, another guy dealing with so much shit in life. Life is hard enough, and for him to be sick and still be a competitive pool player on top of it. And I think one of his last few matches, he kicked the holy crap out of Josh Viller. I think it was in Puerto Rico. With a Metaport in his chest for getting chemo, beats arguably the top player in the world. I mean, for me, that makes me want to get up and shrug off every pain that I have. So, Mika.
Good pick.
All right,
Good
that's
pick.
great picks. Great picks. This is
We're on
interesting
fire.
category. Least valuable player, male or female?
Well, you can't have a most valuable without a least valuable. So this is in no way a negative display to the names that we say. I personally like everybody, but just something as far as hype for me, and then output. I'm always going to say Tyler Steyer. I think he's got all the talent in the world. He's $1 million talent, but he's got a 5-cent head. And then the same one on the women's side is Emily Duddy. She's got so much hype around her, and her outputs are just poor. It just seems like these guys they want to take more out of pool than what they put into it. So those are my two.
Listen, I agree with you with Emily. I get it. I don't agree with it. I get it. I don't agree with it. Emily is all marketing. She's not. They tout her. That league she plays in, they tout her as a pro. She's not pro speed. So I get it because she has the look, and she's been she was on the TV show, so she has some clout, and people might recognize her. So I get it why they do that from a marketing point of view. But let's face it, she's not pro speed. She's not even close to pro speed. And if you think I'm crazy, tell me the last tournament she's won pro. Okay. So I'm not adding Emily to my list. I have a whole different take for my pick, but I don't disagree. The biggest disappointment is not one person, but 5, and that's Team USA. I am sick of fucking losing. I'm sick of it. I don't feel, this is my opinion, and you can yell at me for it, but I don't feel that Team USA is sick of losing. I feel like they're okay with getting their 20 and going home.
End of year bonus.
Yep. And I'm sick of it. So I'm not picking one player. I'm picking 5. And not one of them is any better off than the others. They're equally all. I'm mad at all of them. Not really mad at them, but that's my pick.
And who's your female pick?
I want to be fair. I don't have a female
Okay.
pick. I want to be able to support everyone. I don't have one that.
All right. Well, then who's your MVP, male or female? Since you didn't want to answer the other one, you're gonna go first.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. I tried my hardest to find someone different than everybody else, but I can't. Because, we're not the only ones doing the best of 2024. Matchroom just came out with something, and this podcast guide, everybody does it. You have to do it, right? We've just been doing it the longest. By we, I mean Level2Billiards. I've been doing this for years. Anyway, the combination of, well, let me just say this. The male has got to be Federer.
To you.
Adversity in his life. What did you say?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Go ahead.
Adversity in his life. I don't know if you pay attention in the news, but where he's from is not a good place right now to be.
Yeah.
So essentially picked up his life and moved. Did it legally. Went through the process of doing it. Good for him. It's a big challenge. Things like that. Has become a business. Has really embraced the business part of the sport. Probably the best proposal I've ever seen for let's get married with the social media pictures and all that in France. I love that romantic guy. It's for me, the male is Mr. Gorst. And then again, I don't want to be like cliche, but Christina is the female. And the reason that Christina is the female, one thing changed it for me, and that is that she won the world championship. That she overcame huge obstacles because there was a lot of players in that field, and that she won.
That was a great field, yeah.
That win that win is I don't care anything she did before that win, and she did some good things in 2024, but that win for me locked it in.
You know, much like Jay, my female is Christina Tkach. This was the year of the Tkach. She wasn't a one-trick pony. She was knocking on doors, and then she finally kicked it in, and she ascended. We watched her go from sometime primetime player to full primetime player this year. And my MVP for man is Josh Filler. It's comparing apples and apples when you talk about him and Fedor. Fedor may had a few more bucks, but for me, Josh Filler throwing his nose up at a major entity like the WNT and telling them, look, afanabla, go F yourselves. I'm going to go do my thing because that's who I'm in charge of. For him to do that, I think that speaks volumes. And he's not a bad player either. That challenge of champions with Fedor and Carlo Beato, and he came out on top of that. I mean, for me, that's the ultimate test. That's like the IROC series in racing. We'll give everybody everything equally, and you guys just play, and whoever wins is on top. So, Josh Filler.
All right, next category.
Tam had a MVP.
Oh, Tam,
right now, yeah.
I think Mickey Krause would be my male pick. He's just had a great year, and he's just a nice guy, and it's just happy, great to see. And a big title at the end, and then joining the Mosconi Cup, which is all 1 year.
Yeah, huge.
And the female, Rubelin Emmett, I think she had a great year too, and she was in Vogue. Hello, that's a big deal. So that's
especially if you're Mz Tam.
Anytime a pool player can cross over, that's huge.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
It doesn't matter what country the Vogue is. It's Vogue. It's still it's great. So great exposure. So, but all right, the last one. Here we go. What is the big moment of the year that stands out to you in your mind?
Go ahead, Rob.
Is ours the same? I think we were at a point in the year where me and him weren't talking, and then this event happened, and it just spurred on everything. It's Robbie Capito winning the UK Open. We're both such Robbie Capito fans, and to see like his young kind of like childish giddiness happen when he won, and for him, he's on the 8 and he's getting ready for the 9, and that little breath he took, and it was just like it was such a good moment for me. Just casting somebody else on the scene in this field of giants. Robbie Capito was my top moment.
I want to point something out. You broke the rules. Robbie Capito is on timeout, if you remember, because he keeps blowing us off. So that you picked him in your category. I just want to remind you that Mr. Capito is still on timeout, but I'm gonna let you get away with it. What was the category?
Moments, big moments of the year.
Best moment, yeah.
Here's a curveball. The best moment of the year for me, in regards to pool, is me and Rob having a bet all year for money between the Steyer, Mr. and Mrs. Steyer, and like literally adding the numbers up live or on the shows and thinking that Miss Steyer might actually catch up and things like that. To me, that was actually because it was at one point she was in the race. She was in the race to beat him, and that to me was fun to follow along for the year and see how their money stacked out. I know it's a dumb answer, but
that's the best thing about you two. You two you never know what
you never know.
Your answer is going to be, but it's going to be honest.
Yes.
So,
do you have a moment that you want to talk about?
No, I really, really like how Vietnam is getting such great feedback after their first initial tournament there, and it's just great to see like even the players are getting more time, and just like the fans I'm happy because then more things are I'm Vietnamese, so it's just great to see that the best crowd out of all the events and all year around the world is Vietnam. So I'm happy to see events there.
I'm going to wrap up the last part of this show. I don't
Yeah.
think we told you, Tam, but I'm going to do it fast because I know you got to go.
Yeah.
Number one, I want to thank Miss Tam for coming on. If you don't follow her, it's MzTam. Definitely worth good
COM.
content. COM. Ms. Tam. We'll put it in the. Rob will put it somewhere. Cool content, although she's not consistent, but it's cool content. She's very busy. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to recommend you go look at the I5 video nonsense. She doesn't know that I was going to say that, but whatever. I want to just say real quick shout outs, and I'm going to go very, very quick. I'm going to do this, and I want you, Christina. I saw a picture the other day, Billiards Digest, Christina and Federer, and Christina was wearing a Federer hoodie right here. They were both wearing a Federer hoodie. Christina, you're world champion. Get your own hoodie. Stop wearing his hoodie. Get your own hoodie. I want a Christina hoodie. Stop wearing his hoodie. Who's your shout out, Rob?
I think it's well documented. I had a few losses in my life, and December's a very hard month for me. I'm a miserable person in December, but I never lose hope. And along with January comes a new year, and I'm just hopeful for the new year. And we already spoke, and we got our plans laid out for the year. I look forward to that stuff, and I just look forward to a positive year. Want you guys to get out there and drive a sports car. Feel great about yourselves.
Who's your clapper? We didn't get one clapper today.
Oh.
Miss Tam, who's your shout out?
Shout out to you guys. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. Thank you for Las Vegas Q Club for
sponsoring
letting
this
me
show.
crash. Yes.
Yeah. Las Vegas Q Club, official sponsor of this show. Miss Tam, go run your tournament, and thank you for jumping on with us.
All right.
Thank you very much, Tam.
Thank you.
I wish I had one of those. Are we live now?
Yeah, they're $5 on Amazon.
Yeah, $5 is a lot of money for me, pal. All right. So thank you, Miss Tam, for jumping on and helping us. I love that.
Yeah.
I hope, bro. I love that. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. We talk about having people on all the time, and
I think we should do it. I will tell you this: if we had people like this, and I know they're not all going to be as cool as Miss Tam. But why am I calling her Miss Tam? Her name is Tam. She's my friend. Yeah. I know they're not all going to be as cool as her. Some might actually be cooler. But I thought it was cool.
She's like pool royalty, bro. You seen what she said about when I asked her how many pool halls is enough, and she goes, "It's all about the next one." That's Tom Brady shit, dude. That's like, I got 10 rings. I don't give a fuck about the last 9. It's the current one.
Yeah.
And that was her answer.
You know, the other thing that she said before we started recording, when we were just the three of us chit-chatting before we hit the record button, is that, she's not famous, and I think she is. I think in the pool world, she is well known.
She's got pool clout.
Multiple magazines. She's on streams. She has a social media. It's not a huge social media following. She doesn't post enough, I think. But I think she's pretty well known. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it's enough to be sponsored, and it's enough to where she can walk in.
She has all kinds of sponsors, so
she can go into any pool hall and be noticed, and that's shit.
And she's a good player. She's not, So I was briefly saying earlier, you guys didn't hear it, but I don't remember how I know Miss Tam, whether she reached out to me first or I reached out to her first. But I know her just because she's a follower of Level 2 Billiards, and we developed a great relationship, talk a lot, not so much anymore, but more because of me than her. But we developed a great relationship, and I made it a point to go see her. She lived in Texas at the time, and then went to an event and hung out with her, and we went out to dinner, and she introduced me to her friends, and she showed me around, and it was really cool. And then we've seen each other since at other events, because we go to a lot of similar events. She's just a very cool person. She don't take nothing from nobody, which I love pushing her buttons about because she has strict boundaries, right? And I do whatever I can to make it seem like I'm going to say there, and then all of a sudden I'll say something that just throws me off the rails, and then she doesn't give a rat's, she'll disappear, and she'll yell at me, and then gone, and I might not see her for a week, or talk to her for a week. She's a very cool person, and she's well respected in the industry, so good for her. So who would we have? Go ahead.
When I first started really talking to her, I think she had just moved to Las Vegas, and me being a meter reader for all the years that I was in Las Vegas, you know, I've been in every square inch of that town. So I was kind of telling her where to go here and there, when she was asking questions and recommendations, and I got a kick out of that because that was my home for decades, and anybody who's going to a place where I called home, I feel like I should rightfully help them. So
yeah.
And the same thing, you build up a rapport, you build up conversation after conversation, and she's given me no reason to not like her, and
I couldn't come up with one reason why, other than there's one reason I would say that is, but I actually like her for this, but I could see where other people don't, because she's such a, I don't know what the word is, she knows what I mean, but because she's like that, some people might be turned off by that person. Here's what I'll say. She's got such a strong personality. Not that she's loud or obnoxious, because she's Vietnamese. She's very calm, but she don't put up with nothing. I'm her friend, and she don't put up with me. But I respect her more for that, right? She's a cool player.
I think it's kind of the same. With what I go through. I think when you grow up rough and not in the sense for her, not in the sense where she was abused as a kid, but just growing up right. in a tough environment like where she's from, and I think that it doesn't in a sense harden you, but it makes you look. You've seen the lowest of the lows. I've been here before. You got to please me, and that's kind of the way I look at things. A lot of people, as many people that like me, I have the same amount of people that hate me. So whatever that's worth, that's what I feel from her, and that's what I unlike, because I see myself in that.
I have a Tam story that I want to tell you, but I don't want to tell you here. I'll tell you offline. It's my favorite Tam story. It's not meant for public consumption, but it's so funny. I remember it. It's so funny. But let's find another host. I'm telling you that you can get me on here consistently if we have that kind of rapport.
If look, you're the king of the time constraints. I don't know. It's not like you have a 9 to 5 to where I'll be home at 4:30 every day. So it's a matter of us syncing up and then syncing up with another person. If we can do that on a consistent basis, I think you're going to see so much more from us and our show.
Who would you recommend we get as the next host?
I love having female players on, because I think it provides such a contrast for us, because we're two testosterone driven nutbags, and I think we need that difference to play off of.
Can't we just be two testosterone nuts? Do I have to be a nut bag? I don't know. I'm not okay with being a nut bag.
I'm Italian guy. We offer bags to everything: douche bag, nut bag, apple bag.
So you have a lot of friends. Reach out to one of them.
I have a lot of friends. I just went on a rant about how much people hate me, and I got a lot of friends.
No. It's true. A lot of people do hate you. A lot of people do. It's true. However, I have learned that for every hater that you have, I'm saying this globally, you have 2 people that love you. So
thank you. Speaking of haters, I have a guy on my Q-Tank Clan comments. He's 80-something years old, and this guy's been roasting my balls for the past few weeks.
Really? Yeah. I love him. I'm gonna go find out who he is and encourage him to do it more. That douchebag that kept reaching out to me has stopped, because because he starts sending voice things, and I don't listen. I knew eventually he would go away. I should have just blocked him.
I blocked that asshole.
You blocked your guy?
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the guy we're talking about.
Yeah. You know who would be cool to come on? He won't do video like face, but maybe voice. Maybe he would do voice. He's the bank guy, Croc.
I've asked him before, and he's so fucking weird. That guy.
He is weird.
He's like the neighbor from Tim the Toolman. Like you don't see his face.
Yeah. He wants to be anonymous. I understand. Some people are like that.
He also told you could. Let's get females in here. I want to deal with old men.
You have a whole harem, so find one.
I do.
I know you can find one. I recently, as you know, tried to get a host to come on, and she, you know the story because you told me. So I'm not asking nobody. So it's your responsibility.
You creeped her out because you kept asking for pictures of her feet.
Shut your mouth. Sick. I don't even like you. You think she'd send me his face? Stop it. I'm kidding.
I don't know. Let's ask. I'll look at it.
Don't ask her that. She's such a nice girl.
Yeah.
Don't say her name. Don't say her name.
You know, I love the perspective of having a female pool player, a girl who's actually holding a cue and playing competitive pool. I love that aspect.
Yeah.
Let's get Kelly Fisher on.
Yeah. She's gonna. Okay. Reach out to her.
Listen,
I actually bet she would come on.
Of course.
You want me to reach out to her?
I would love to have Kelly on.
I'm gonna reach out to her. We might have to go around her schedule instead of her coming around ours.
Whatever. I don't sleep anyway. What's the big difference?
That's true. I don't either. All right. Anything else we got to talk about? We did the shout-outs.
Really? You know what? I just got a list here. Of course, go check out our sponsor, Off the Rail Apparel. You can see them on their Instagram page, Facebook page. We've got good shows planned. If we can tell you guys half the shit that we talk about that we got planned, I think you guys would get extremely excited for it. But
now we're in the time of the year that we're going to back to our regular schedule every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Unless it's a big event week. Listen, it's not that we don't want to be here. It's just that, some of us.
It's called life.
Yeah, life.
Life and work and bills and all that shit.
And good for the guys that can do it. That can do 7 podcasts a week. Good for them. Good that they do that. I'm not a gambler, so I'm not sweating and doing all that stuff. So good for them that if they can do that. That's not us.
We're nobody's shills.
Yeah, and the other thing is, well, I think unless we have a reason to do a show, why do a show? Just to do a show because we do a show every Tuesday or whatever. I'm not about that.
One thing I wanted to bring up, and it's funny. We talked about doing an award show, and then you see like 3 more award show pop up.
Yeah.
In between the time that we were getting together, it kind of pisses me off because I know people watch and they don't give us credit for it. But
that's fine.
One thing that we had talked about that an idea that I had absolutely loved, and this is just a little tease for you guys watching this, is we were talking about a draft. If you were starting a pool league,
we should do that in the next show.
Yeah, that'd be great. Let's talk about.
All right, so tell the people at home because we need how many? How many did we sign?
Well, we'll give the basis of it right here. Me and Jay are starting a pool league. He's going to draft 10 players. I'm going to draft 10 players. Kind of like the NFL draft. You have to pick 5 men, 2 women, and then you have 2 wild card picks. 10 rounds. We alternate rounds. Just NFL draft style. And we were going to add in more people from different areas of pool. But if you were starting a pool league and you wanted 10 players to represent your league, who would you pick? I chew on that idea all the time. And once we talked about it, it was like snowballs, man. It was like, this is such a good idea. Let's have so much fun with this. So if you're watching this, be on the lookout for that because I think that's going to be something very fun that you're not going to see anywhere else.
We should do that. We should get that all wrapped up, and then come back in 2 weeks with because our plan was to actually have a draft videotape the draft, but only show you parts of it because it'll be very long.
Yeah.
To show you some of the highlights from the draft, and then go over the rules, and then you can follow along with us during the course of the year. So we'll work on that. One thing that I did want to say was that's it. We're done.
Until the next time, my friend.
Have a good night, nutbag.
Level 2 Billiards. We have fun here.